Everybody, it's Matt Schmitt here, and thank you for stopping by and checking out this video. I want to talk to you about something that's very, very important, and that's targeting. Targeting is really where your ad begins. It's more important, really, than your ad copy, your ad image, and basically as important as your product because it's part of what I call the marketing mix. And that is your people, which is your targeting when you're doing paid traffic, your product, and your price. If you don't have one of those factors correct, you're not going to make a sale. So today I want to talk about the targeting aspect of that. And so I'm going to go into where to find interest to use in our ads. And then how to break into any niche regardless of its size. If you're familiar with Facebook targeting or Facebook ads, you know the bigger the niche, the harder it is to really drill down. Well, I'm going to show you a really precise way of drilling down that's going to help you out quite a bit. So how to identify that you are in the right place and the myth of the oversaturated markets. So let's go over the shoulder real quick and talk about how to find the right interests. So you can see here that I'm looking at my Facebook audience insights. And what you can see here is that I have 150 to 200 million monthly active people, all in the United States, 18 and above, and both genders. So if I'm coming in here and I'm starting from square one in a niche, I want to go really precise in my targeting, and then I can eventually work my way out and go very broad when I have a very matured conversion pixel. But if I have no fires on my conversion pixel, I need to have the side of the scale with the targeting very, very heavy so that that other side of the scale conversion pixel can eventually get some weight on it when I'm converting more and more people. So let's take a huge niche, a huge category really, of cats and see if we can't drill down to find some really highly targeted interests. Cats are a huge niche. It's not really a niche because it is really more of a category when it's this big, of 25 to 30 million monthly active people. That is a good portion of the United States. Now, not all of those are cat owners. One thing to quickly understand about Facebook is that the way it works is it builds audiences off its social platform. So one of the most viral things on the internet is cats, cute, adorable cats. Everybody likes cute, adorable cat pictures and maybe comments on them and shares them. If you do that, you get thrown into an audience of people who are cat owners, also think cats are cute, but Facebook lumps you into that audience because you responded to that content, and so they want to serve that up to you again, so you have a great experience on their platform. That's how they work, and that's how they grow. But as marketers, we have to understand that so we can cut down to the cat owner, not just the cat liker. So let's look at this real quick, and something I want to point out. When you know you're not in the right place is when you're seeing a bunch of these mega interests, like Groupon, DC Comics, which is a little surprising, George Takaki, Jackson Galaxy. There's a whole bunch of other ones on here, Robert Downey Jr., that really don't have anything to do with cats. So what we have to do is cut out the noise. So let's go back and notice that 65% of this audience is women. So I want to cut out the men here for starting off, right? Because I want to serve up as something that's going to have a great response, and knowing that my product is really the last layer of my targeting, I want something that speaks specifically to a gender. So what I like to do is really start with a gender and eventually work my way up from there. So women is where I'm going to start. So that is going to narrow my audience down to still 15 to 20 million people. So let's see if we can't dive a little deeper and see that we're still in the wrong place here. We have Ellen DeGeneres as the number 3 interest here. So that has nothing to do with cats. And the reason that is there is because that big of a group of people, 15 to 20 million people, are not just cat owners. They have all these other different types of interests that they share with that big group of people, right? Ellen DeGeneres being one of them. When you have so many people, they're going to have other interests that they share in common other than just the thing that you plugged into the interest tool. So what your job is to dive deeper. And how do we do that? So I like to come over to Google and search for a magazine in the niche that I am in. You can see here I searched for top magazines for cat owners, not people who like cats, cat owners, because I'm selling something related to cat owners, or it's perfect for cat owners. So I don't want anybody else in there that just likes it. So let's take modern cat and see if we can't figure out if that's a better place for us to start targeting. Modern cat magazine. So that's brought in some more people, and not really in the grand scheme of things, but you could see how it did change slightly. But what's important for us to do now is eliminate the original interest and drill down into that magazine that we just found. You can do this magazine search for any niche really, because any established niche is going to have a magazine tied to it. If you don't have a magazine in it, you're in a very select few of those niches. And I would go after maybe a company, a brand, some kind of other website that has some attention to it and help you dive deeper into your targeting and into your niche. So let's look at our interest now. You can see that the affinity is much higher than it was before. It's in actually 2, 3 below in our affinity level. Now, a couple months ago, or over a little over a year ago, I would have said that a good affinity level was about 13. Now these interests are getting much more correlated as proof of that Ellen DeGeneres coming up for cats. That didn't happen when I created my first course, AI targeting system. But now that's happening more and more because Facebook's getting better at it. And the platform is getting matured as it is a platform itself. So there's more people coming on Facebook. There's more pages growing and growing and growing. There's more people getting presences on Facebook, such as Ellen DeGeneres or any of these other brands that maybe are newer than that. And what we have to do is eliminate more noise. And I'm going 20x and above now. So it was 13. Now I would recommend 20x and above. You can see our interests here are great. The one thing I do want to do though is make sure that my demographics are lined up. You can see here that I'm looking at 18 to 65 plus, and they all have a solid presence on Facebook, right? I would eliminate any demographic that didn't have 10% or below. So anything that's not hitting the 10% mark, I'm going to eliminate. So I also like to sell when I'm starting off at 25 and above. And that's crucial to just understanding preference. I don't understand a lot of people, or I don't know a lot of people, or generally a lot of college students don't have a lot of income when they're, spending money on books and trying to buy a beer. What we're trying to do is get somebody with disposable income that can buy on an impulse the item that we're offering. So 25 and above, you have a job, hopefully you're making some money and you have disposable income. That's just a preference. I will test out 18 to 24, but not at this point. So you can see now I've refined a little bit more, and women of 25 and above in the United States that like Modern Cat Magazine all have a solid presence. 65 and above is 12%, so that fits our criteria of sticking around. So now I get to go in and look around for some interests. You can see all these different cat interests. Everything says something about cats. Now the grannies here, I want to make sure I understand what this is, because that doesn't sound cat off the bat, but you can see I'm immediately hit with some cats in the profile image, everything. This is completely about cats. So I feel pretty good about these interests, and they're all high affinity interests, huge high affinity interests, and they all have great size. Something that's important to realize is I could assort by affinity here and say, hey, this one's got 62, that's more than 40. But at the end of the day, I like selling lots of items. These 25,000 person interests aren't going to get us a lot of sales. And more than likely, those are incorporated in these bigger interests with bigger fan bases that are, when you sort by relevancy, are more available to you. So I like getting one after one here and plugging these into my ads and testing them out. And this is a great way for you to drill down and focus on a core group of people who are very, very affiliated with the niche, who have proven an interest with Modern Cat Magazine, which is a cat owner magazine, not a cat liker magazine. And we're going to get some great results with a strong offer here. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is the myth of oversaturated markets. On Facebook, there are niches that are hit a lot more than other ones. I sell a lot of things in the nurse niche. That's a very congested market. It's not oversaturated. What people misunderstand is that if they try to sell in a congested market with the same thing that everybody else is selling, then yes, you might not get sales. It's not oversaturated. It's just congested. The big difference is that an oversaturated market won't have anything that sells. But a congested market will have plenty of unique items that sell. If you have highly targeted interests, and you sell them something and offer them something very unique, then you will make a sale if it's at the right price. This is common in all markets. And the important thing to realize is that, yes, you are drilling down into an audience, into a niche. But at the end of the day, we all roll up to be 25 plus in the United States of male and female. So you're competing on a day-to-day basis with a lot of people in companies who hit everybody in this market. And the reason that you drill down is so that you can be unique. So you need to be unique in a group of people who are trying to be unique. And that's how you're going to make a sale. And that's how we do it. And I hope that helps you. So that's it for today. Drill down into your audience, get them something unique, and make those sales. Talk to you soon. Good Schmitt.